Hey, so today we're going to be doing a layered image tutorial. This is going to be very useful if you need some images that are made up of multiple layers. For example, sprites with their multiple expressions. You want to be switching between different kinds of expressions, but the rest of the body stays all the same. And I'm going to be showing you everything from scratch. So let's get started. I'm going to make a new project for this. Okay, the project's there. We'll be going back to that later. First, I'm going to be getting my layered image. You can use your own. I'm just going to use this freely available one, Augustina, just so we have something to work with. I'm going to open that up. I'm using Krita. You can use whatever art program you want. Okay, we're going to look over here. The first layer, that's just the background. We don't need that because we want our sprite to be transparent. That's the base. That's the part that doesn't change. We have the outfits, the expressions, and then we have some glasses on top. So we need to export every single layer individually because we're going to be putting them back together in Ren'Py. So first, the base. We're going to find our project. There it is. And we're going to go into the images folder, and then we're going to organize this. We're going to make a new folder called Augustina, because that's the name of the character. Just put this in here. What should we use? What do we want? WebP? Sure. We'll use WebP because it saves a lot more space than PNG, and it looks pretty much exactly the same. And the name, I want Augustina base. Just keep all the default settings. That's fine. Okay, now we want the outfits. I'm gonna put the outfits on top, but I'm gonna remove the base because that's already gonna be in the image, so I don't need to export it again. Okay, swimsuit. See, they look quite funny when they're all separated like that. Okay, so we're gonna have these parts are what's gonna be changing because the base doesn't change. So I actually need to be careful what we name these because this is gonna come up later. So the first part of the name is the name of the sprite, Augustina, and then I'm gonna put underscore to separate the different parts of the name. The next part of the name is the group, and this is gonna be part of the outfit group. And then the last part is the individual attribute name, which in this case is swimsuit. So we'll just we'll just name it the same, swimsuit. So the name of the sprite, the group name, and the individual attribute name, all separated by underscores. Don't use spaces, just use underscores. Okay, we have outfit 1, outfit 2. This looks like something casual. See, I'm not very good at coming up with names. Here's a little time-saving trick. We could just take the first part of the name, copy it, so then we could paste it. And then now I just have to type in the attribute name. And we'll just call this casual. Save. And the last outfit, we'll call this work. So those are the outfits. Now we look at the face. Now the face is actually made up of 4 parts. We have emotes, so we have like, these kind of things. When you turn this on, blush, We need to turn the face on to see that. So there's the blush, bigger blush, the shadow thing, this sighing thing, sweat drops, you know, those kind of emotes. And the eyes are the eyes, different kinds of, you know, different kinds of eyes to pick between mouth and the eyebrows. And we need to export every single one of these. We don't need these though. See, we're only gonna be exporting the single layer. It's gonna save us a lot of space. So this is called emote. So we need to change the group name. I'll name it in full emote. This one's called blush. And once again, I'm gonna do a little time-saving trick. I'm gonna copy the first part of this so that I don't have to retype the beginning part. I'm gonna save that.
I'm not gonna do all of these. I'm just gonna do like 3, just to get the point across. Oh, dark. Sure.
You have to make sure all these different attributes have unique names. Can't repeat the same names. So get creative. We'll just call this sweat.
Sweat. What do we call it? Sweat drop. That'll do. That's like 3 of them. For the eyes, lots of eyes to pick from. File. Export. Now,
some of these eyes, mouth, and eyebrows are gonna be named very similarly. So you might have happy eyes and happy mouth and happy eyebrows, which is going to be a problem when you need unique attribute names because you can't all name them happy. So to fix that, we just add a little prefix to the attribute name. So this is I now, the group I. And then a prefix, we'll just use E for I. And then open. So if you call it open, there might be a mouth that's also called open, and then they're going to be overlapping. So we add a little prefix just to make sure every single attribute is unique. Okay, that is enough of the layers exported for you to get the idea. Project now in images, Augustina folder. So all the sprites are here now. All the different layer parts. And then we're going to combine them in Ren'Py. So let's do that. Let's open our project. There's our project. Let's create a new file to do this in. Images.rpy. And then we're going to start making the layered image so we can put all these images together. So usually to define an image so you can actually start using these files in your game, you write image and then the name of the image, you want to call it Augustina. Let's say we want the base And then we have equals, then we have the whole file path. Since we're in the images folder, we can go to Augustina folder, and then we need the image name. Right, and then we can start using this image by calling Augustina base. Now, here's a little trick. So every single image in the images folder is the images folder, right, is actually automatically defined. So this name right here, you take that, and then Ren'Py will automatically remove the file extension. It'll remove all the folder names, and then you just be left with your automatically defined image. So you don't even need to write all this. Augustina base is already defined, and, and so is Augustina browse Uhhhhh, or whatever you want to call it. Browse normal. These are already automatically defined by Ren'Py because it's in the images folder. So you don't have to manually define them in image, which is going to save us a lot of time when we're setting up the layered image. So to actually make the layered image, first we say layered image, and then we need to name our sprite and call her Augustina. Then we need to colon indent because everything we're going to be putting in is going to go in this layered image. So the way layered images work are we're going to draw these different layers on top of each other. Just like in the art program, we have the things that go on top of each other. The base goes on top, the outfit goes on top, the face goes on top, and then the classes go on top. When we're defining the layered image, the order is the order in which we write the layers. So we have, the first layer, base, and then we have our outfit, our face, and then the classes. So it's kind of backwards from what it is in the art program, just because that's the order it draws them in. The base, since the base isn't going to change, we could just use always, which, as you can imagine, makes sure that this layer is always going to be shown. And this is Augustina base. That's this one, Augustina base. Right, and this is automatically defined, as I showed you earlier, so we could just use Augustina base. We don't even need to do .webp or .png. It's automatically defined because it's in the images folder. It makes our lives much easier. And then we need to do our outfit. So the outfits do change from each other because obviously we can't stack these outfits on top of each other. It'll look weird. We can only have one of them at a time. That's why we need to put these in a group so they replace each other. So we call group, and then the name of the group is outfit. And then underneath, we have all the attributes you want to use. Attribute. Now remember, we named our files in a very special way. So we need to match the attributes that we called them. So you have outfit. What was it called? Outfit. We have the swimsuit. We have casual. So we're just going to kind of write them in a list like this. And then the final one is work. And then under each attribute, we need to give it the image we're going to use. Augustina underscore outfit underscore, and then the name of the attribute. And remember, these are automatically defined because they're in the images folder, which is how we can just use these directly without even using the file path. You hit save here. We're actually just going to see what this looks like right now. Let's go to images. No, script the RPY. I'm gonna say goodbye to Eileen. Show Augustina. And we're just gonna launch the game. So there's Augustina. You can see how I haven't given any of the other attributes, so it will just show the always, which will always be there. And then to give her one of these outfits, we just, pick the attribute name. Let's, casual. We'll just add that on. Augustina casual, and then we'll auto reload. But see, we put the outfit on. It's casual now. Switch to work. You put the work one on. Put the swimsuit on. You switch to the swimsuit. I'll keep the work one for now. Now, if you want to give a default, maybe, you want her to always have an outfit on and you don't want to show the base, you could just pick a default by just writing default next to one of the attributes. And that means if we don't give one of the attributes, then it will use the default. So, if I take work out, Augustina, it'll still have the outfit on, even though I haven't put the attribute because it's the default now. So now we're going to do the face. Remember, this is like 3 different parts. We have the eyebrows, mouth, eyes, and the little emote. So let's get those groups in here. Eyes, group eyes. Is eyes or eyes? We call it eye, so we need to stick to it. You have the mouth, the brows, and then the emote. So let's just do these one by one. You have the group, and then we need the attributes. What do we call our eyes? We have E open. And then you have 2 other ones. You just keep adding to this list depending on how many variations you have. You have side and dizzy. Now, I could give it an image like I did before, like this. Augustina, I, we have our prefix, and then we go open, side, dizzy. I could give it an image, but because we named it in a very fancy way, where we have the image name Augustina, where we call it Layeredimage Augustina. So here's the image name. There's a group name I, and then we have the attribute name, which is this. Ren'Py can actually detect that automatically, meaning we do not have to give it the image name. We can just write down the attributes, and Ren'Py will automatically search for the image following this pattern. You have layered image name, Augustina, the group name, and the attribute name. And look how much space that saves us. So we can actually go back here, get rid of these, and Ren'Py will still be able to figure out what image we're supposed to be using. So now you have eyes. But, when you show it, she won't have the eyes, which you probably don't want to accidentally do, which is why you should give it a default. So we'll just use open as a default. See, it gives her the default eyes. I haven't, changed this yet. If you want to switch to dizzy, you just, put the attribute here.
Oh, there's an error here. What's it saying? It's probably because just because I didn't name it properly. It's supposed to be busy. Let's reload.
There you go. There's the dizzy eyes. And if you want to, put another attribute, casual clothes, you just stack the attributes next to each other. And you go into work clothes. It doesn't matter what order you write them in. Switch them around like that. Swimsuit, the other outfit, it switches. You can't do swimsuit then work because these are in the same group. So it's gonna complain to you because you can't have multiple outfits together because they're in the same group. And if you get rid of everything, it'll only show what's on always, or if you have a default. Okay, so then we go into mouth.
Copy pasting. My favorite. So we need open, smile, and wah. Open, smile, and wah. And remember, because we named our images in a very specific way, the layered image name, the group name, and the attribute name, we don't actually have to specify what image we're using. Ren'Py will just figure it out by what you call it.
Now, here's an even bigger time-saving opportunity. You don't even need to write these attribute names. You could just write auto, and it will search for every single attribute name that's associated with that group. In open here, it'll give the mouth. I haven't specified open here. I just put auto here because I named it in that special way. So actually, we can get rid of these. The only one we need to keep is the one we want default. So I do want a default mouth because it would look very weird if she ever showed up without a mouth. Let's put default here. I don't need to do the other ones because I can write auto and save myself a bunch of time. Or at least it makes it look a bit neater. So browse, let's write auto. Ta-da. And it'll find all our images because we named them in that special way. But I do want a default eyebrow, so we'll go attribute M. No, these are B. B for brow. Also good default. Normal is pretty default. Normal, default. So finally we have the emote. I don't want these to always show up, so I don't need to give it a default. And then finally we have the glasses.
Group glasses, auto. I do want a default. Let's say I always want her to wear glasses. And I named the attribute the same as the group. Because why not? Glasses. It's part of the glasses group. This is default.
I can switch the mouth to a different default if I wanted to. Let's see, mouth. Smile. Maybe I want smile as my default instead. Smile. And there you go. Now she's smiling. Okay, so one final little trick you might want to know. You can put transform properties and transforms on any of these parts. So you can start with the whole image. So I don't know, we'll just do rotate 90 or 30, a bit less. I could put rotate 30 here. It'll rotate the entire sprite. Even if you change attributes, I can get rid of all of these. They just move the sprite. See, they're aligned. I can put it on the always thing. That's the base. So now the base is rotated, everything else stays the same. I can put it on a group. Just put it on the outfit. So now the outfit's rotated, but everything else is the same. And when you change the outfit, so like if we go casual, it'll obviously change it and it'll still be rotated. Well, you can also apply it to an individual attribute. So we can add it to work like this. So now we're back to wearing our casual outfit, so it's not rotated. But if we change to the work outfit, it will be rotated because we applied it to an individual attribute, not the entire group. If you wanna change specific attributes, you can. Casual, maybe this is 90. So you put back the casual outfit. So it's 30. Casual one is rotated by 90. If you have a whole bunch of layers, this is going to be really annoying to remember. So, how do you deal with that? Well, you can make a cheat sheet if you want, but, where's the fun in that? When you can use fancy code tricks to make your life a lot easier. So you can actually just, go over here, install the Layered Image Visual Editor, v2, just download them, get the new one, v2, and then go over here. I just downloaded it. I'll just put it in our game folder. It's this easy. You'd be surprised. Just reload this, and then I'm gonna hit the hotkey. So here's Augustina. We have all our groups here now. We have the outfit. We can switch between them.
Pick work casual. Pick eyes. She looks to the side. Maybe like she's flustered or something. Yeah. Put. I don't know. Huh? Yeah. Sure. Emote. You can drag these if you want to get them out of the way. Blush. Sure.
And then you can copy it. You can click this to copy it. Ta-da. And then, it'll actually save it. I want to memorize a bunch of stuff. I can save you a lot of time. There you go. So that looks kind of funny, doesn't it? Yeah, just a little extra fun thing to see. You can see how the layers kind of stack on top of each other.